just coming up to 5, the first day at school, and he came home, and the neighbour said, how did school go today, Christopher? Oh, he said it was all right, but I don't think I'll go again.
No, I don't remember saying that.
Anyway, I want to thank you all for coming. Actually, you know, looking around this room, I think there are about 6 or 7 that are friends, very good friends, and the rest I am responsible either directly or indirectly for. And what a hell of a responsibility. I do agree with Chris that John, my husband John, would have loved to have been here today. He could be the life and soul of the party, and not always intentionally. But then I thought about it, and if he were here today, he'd be in his 107th year, so I think perhaps it's better but I think how much nicer it is that you're all gathered here. I mean, some of you have come such a long way. America and Essex, and my dear beloved niece all the way from Wales. But isn't it nicer to be here at a party than out listening to the news with all the trouble that's going on outside? And I was hearing the other day, you know, that we've even lost a lot of celebrities. I mean, for instance, we've lost Bob Hope, Adam Faith, Johnny Cash, and just before Christmas we lost Steve Jobs. And just think of it, no hope, no faith, no cash, and now we got no job. Every morning, at this time of crisis, I hope and pray we don't lose Ed Balls. You've always been outrageous, Mum, and I don't suppose I'm going to change that. And I said, well, no, one doesn't really, and if you can't be rude and awful at 90, then when Rogers first said to me, Mum, what about a party for your birthday? I said, for God's sake, boy, I don't want to be reminded that I'm another year older and I've got one foot in the grave. But one friend said to me, well, if you've only got one foot in, Vinny, you don't put the other one in and you're all right. So I thought, well, all right. So when Rogers broached the subject the second time and said, you know, the family want to get together, Mum, you know, and I thought, well, he's probably right. It would be a nice gathering of everybody together. And so I said to Roger, yes, all right, we'll have a party. But, you know, I was thinking, you know, when your children are small, you try and knock some sense into their heads, and then you reach the point where you are amongst the ancient Britons and you realise they're trying to knock some sense into you. And, so anyway, I said, well, yes, all right, party, yes, I agree. And I think the time has long gone when one had a small hand in yours and you led their faltering steps, you guided their faltering steps across the road to school. Well, now, of course, that same hand takes you by the arm and takes your faltering steps across the road, either to the doctor's, the hospital, or the day centre. In fact, an old boy on this drive said to me the other day, do you know, I got taken across the road and I didn't want to go. So I said, well, what are you doing? He said, well, I was standing on the curb. I said, I was admiring the tree on the other side of the road. And he said, some kind person took me across. So I said, well, what did you do? He said, well, I stood on the curb and looked hopeful, and eventually the kind person when you get old, dear, you know, they do have a tendency to sort of think, poor old soul, they forget that you've crossed the road and it reminds me of the rhyme, you know, that people are so very kind. I see the bus has gone. How kind of them to help me off when I was struggling to get on. that is old age. Anyway, I want to talk about the boys and my family. You know, been very lucky. I know into every life a little rain must fall. And of course, every family or every life has ups and downs. But I have really been very lucky because I have 4 lovely sons. And I suppose the icing on the cake was when I gave birth to a beautiful daughter whose laughter and sense of fun and companionship has been a great source of joy to me over the years, hasn't it, darling? Then, of course, there are the in-laws. Without their love and cooperation, I wouldn't have the grandchildren. And I have got some lovely grandchildren who fill me with a great deal of pride and joy. And then, of course, we come down to the next generation, the great-grandchildren. And, you know, there's something about the children today. I don't know whether they're wiser than the generations that have gone before. But, I mean, there's one great-granddaughter here one day, some time ago, and I said to her, you know, oh, you have grown up since I saw you last. You must be 4. And the look I got, you know, she said, no, great-granny, I am not 4, I am 4 1/2. And there was the grandmother met with a little girl, and a little granddaughter, and I sort of gave her some money, and I said, where are you going? She said, I'm going to buy some sweets, and then I'm going, and thank you for the money, I'm going to buy some sweets, and then I'm going for a walk with my granny. Oh, I said, what a lovely idea. And she looked at me and said, yes, but you're not coming. My favourite story of little girls is the one where the manager was giving a dinner party for 2 of his directors and their wives. And his wife had cooked a sumptuous meal, and everything was going swimmingly, when the dining room door opened, and in walked this little 4-year-old, stark naked, with a wet nitrous over her arm. And she took one look at the 2 directors and she said, you left the seat up and I fell in. Anyway, I can't leave without a story because somebody said to me, you've got to tell a story. Well, actually, it was Christopher. That one. He saves them up, I think, to tell his friends. But I said gave both of them past one of my friends, and I said, I don't know which one to do. Oh, for God's sake, Betty, tell them both. So I will tell you the one that I quite like. It was God standing on the top of a hill, and he said, he created Adam, and he said to Adam, now I want you to go down this hill. And Adam said, God, what is a hill? So God explained what a hill was. And he said, I want Adam to go down this hill through the valley. God said, Adam, what is a valley? So God explained what a valley was. He said, I want you to go down the hill, through the valley, across the river. God said, Adam, what is a river? So he explained what a river was. So he said, now, Adam, you go down the hill, through the valley, across the river, and you'll see a cave. God said, Adam, what is a cave? So anyway, God explained to him what a cave was. And he said, now, Adam, you go down the hill, through the valley, across the river, and into the cave, and there you'll see a beautiful girl called Eve. And I want you to make love to her and start filling the world with people. So Adam went down the hill, through the valley, and across the cave. And he wasn't gone very long when he came out of the cave, and you're quite right, he came over the river and through the valley and up the hill. And God looked at him and he said, that was very quick, Adam. What happened? He said, God, what's a headache? And before you I'll tell you one more, and then I will ask you to raise your glasses for absent friends and loved ones, for those who can't come or for different reasons. I mean, dear Natalie, who was so busy producing my 19th great-grandchild, but she isn't here, which is a great pity. How do you describe great-grandchildren? Oh, cool man, cool. Anyway, this other one is about a conjurer, and he was working on a cruise ship, and he was enjoying himself. He's a very good conjurer, and every trip was great, until one day the captain came on board and he got a parrot. And this parrot used to sit and look with a beady eye at this conjurer, and watching everything he did, you see. And then he would suddenly call out in a loud voice, "The card is up his sleeve," or "The flowers are under the table," or "The rabbit's under his hat." And the conjurer, oh, how he loathed that parrot. He was ruining all his jokes. And then on one voyage there was a shipwreck and the ship went down. And the conjurer was thrown into the sea. Anyway, he managed to swim towards a raft and climb on board. So he climbed on board, and to his horror, the only other thing on the thing was this bloody parrot. And he thought, he's wet and bedraggled, he looked at it and he thought, now I wonder if I'm quick and grab him, I could wring its neck. And while he's contemplating doing this, the parrot looks at him with a beady eye, takes a step forward and said, "All right, conjurer, you win. What have you done with the bloody ship?"
Thank you, Mother. That was great.